Case Study 2, The Gunpowder Plotters, 1605. In November 1605, the Gunpowder Plot took place, in which some Catholics plotted to blow up James I, the King of England. In this case study, we will be looking at the context, the plot, the conspiracy theory, the torture techniques, punishment, the consequences, and we'll be asking, how will I use this in the exam? 1. Context. In 1534, Henry VIII split with the Catholic Church and made himself head of the Church of England. Famously, Henry VIII wanted to divorce his wife, but the Catholic Church does not allow divorce. 2. Henry's son Edward was a strict Protestant. Next, we have Mary I, who was a strict Catholic and burnt nearly 300 Protestants alive. As you can see, this is a time of real religious change. Next, we have Elizabeth I, also a daughter of Henry VIII. She was a Protestant, and in her time, she hanged 250 Catholics as traitors. Catholics could not follow their faith in England during Elizabeth's reign. 5. Catholics were hopeful that the new James I would allow them more religious freedom. Part of the reason people were hopeful was due to the fact that James I's mum was Mary Queen of Scots, who had been Catholic before she was executed by Elizabeth. However, James introduced even stricter anti-Catholic laws. Catholics were disappointed, but mostly just had to accept this. Some, however, decided to plot against him. Pause the clip here and complete the activities on the worksheet. 2. The plot. Robert Catesby hatched a plan to blow up Parliament in order to kill the king and put a Catholic on the throne. One of the 13 plotters, Guy Fawkes, filled a vault beneath the Houses of Parliament with 36 barrels of gunpowder, more than enough to destroy the building and everyone in it. An anonymous letter warned Lord Montagu not to attend the opening of Parliament, as it would receive a mighty blow. He took it straight to Robert Cecil, the King's chief minister. Then, the vaults beneath Parliament were searched and Fawkes was arrested. He was tortured until he revealed the names of the other plotters and signed a confession. The rest of the plotters escaped. However, 200 government soldiers caught up with them at Holbeck House. Catesby and a number of his fellow plotters were killed in the fighting. The others were returned to London before being found guilty and sentenced to be hanged, drawn and quartered. Pause the clip here and complete the activities. The conspiracy theory. Some historians argue that the authorities knew all about the plot in advance, but let it proceed so that Catholic rebellion would be brought into the open, and there would be clear justification for further Catholic persecution. That means they could continue to treat Catholics unfairly. During preparations for the attack, Fawkes had travelled to Flanders to look for foreign assistance. His actions were monitored by English spies who informed Robert Cecil of what Fawkes was doing. Pause the clip here and complete the activities. Torture. Torture was used to get a confession out of Guy Fawkes and the others about their role in the plot. The most common method of torture was the rack. The rack is a wooden frame that was used to stretch the body, forcing limbs apart at the joints. At first, Guy Fawkes refused to confess or give up the names of his co-conspirators, but 12 days after his arrest, he finally confessed. Here you can see his signature, and it's led to many questions as to whether he truly confessed or whether he confessed because he faced torture. Pause the clip here and complete the activities. Punishment. Fawkes was sentenced to the traditional traitor's death, to be hanged, drawn and quartered. In the event, he jumped from the gallows, which is where you get hanged. breaking his own neck and thereby avoiding the horror of being cut down while still alive, having his testicles cut off and his stomach opened and his guts spilled before his eyes. His lifeless body was hacked into quarters and his remains sent to the four corners of the kingdom as a warning to others. The reasons for the harsh and very public treatment for treason were: as the most serious crime, treason received the most serious punishment. Without a police force to help prevent crime, harsh punishment was thought to be the only way of deterring crime. A harsh message was thought necessary to deter Catholics from rising up against the Protestant monarchy. Pause the clip here and complete the activities. The consequences. The plot allowed James I to be even more strict with religious laws. Many Catholics were forced to take an oath of allegiance to the English crown, and the 5th of November is remembered every year with fireworks. Pause the clip here and complete the activities. Finally, how will I use this in the exam? So you'll use this on topics of the purpose of punishment, the use of capital punishment, a question on heresy and treason, crime against authority, the role of individuals,